Shalom Aleichem and Salam Aleichem. Morocco was one of the countries that signed recently a peace deal with Israel. So it was very interesting going there. I learned about the history of the Jews in Africa. The Jews have been in Africa for a very long time, specifically in Egypt. As you know, there was a complex history that the Jews have in Africa because at one point Joseph became the head person in charge of the whole system of Egypt, second next to Pharaoh. But then we also ended up becoming slaves in Egypt. So it's a complex relationship that the Jews have in Africa. So the history of the Jews in Morocco is pretty interesting because the Jews were there actually before the Islamic conquest, which is when the Berbers were there in Morocco. And they actually have their own language, which is different than Arabic. And when many of the Jews that left Morocco to go to Israel, some of their neighbors, like the Berbers, there's a lot of Jews who live also in like the remote areas and rural areas of Morocco, they sort of felt kind of betrayed because they were, for so many years, they were living together, and then the Jews decided to go to Israel, so they said, oh, how come you guys are leaving? And they were sort of sad. Because I met some of them on the trip, and then I went on, and they were explaining to us how their neighbors were, a lot of Jewish people were there, and how they felt at the time. What's interesting now is that Israel and Morocco recently, the IDF went to Morocco and they're doing training exercises there now. So it's like a very warm relationship that is going on. It's not just like the relationship between Israel and Egypt, but this is a much more warmer relationship. Now, what's interesting with Morocco is that at one point there were all diplomatic relations, and then Morocco cut them off, and then they got back together. So it's sort of like family. We have a complex relationship. Friends. It's not so simple. It was good or bad. It's complex. And what's interesting, what I learned when I was there in Morocco from, let's say, the local culture was that, interesting enough, the rabbi was talking about when a man has like two wives that he loves and one that he doesn't. So interestingly enough, they told me in Morocco that in Morocco polygamy is legal, but they want to make it east meets west. So they want to do a moderate form of this. So the way it works there is you can get another wife, but first you need to ask the first one if that's okay. You have to ask her if you can add more. So that's an interesting way that they're trying to keep their traditions, but then also adapt to the modern lifestyle, which I think is very similar to Judaism and the conservative movement. We try to find the middle way, where it's not so much here, not so much there, but we try to find like a compromise that make it a win-win situation. I had a very interesting experience because like my local Muslim tour guide was saying, that Jews and Muslims are cousins. And he's the one that told me, and I didn't tell him, I said, we're cousins, and he said that the only two languages apparently that are written from right to left, he said, were Hebrew and Arabic. So he said that's why he says that those were the two holy languages. So he had a personal connection with Israel because he was telling me the reason why he loved Israel was because recently in the news, I said Spain and Morocco have like a complex history. Then Spain was going into some of the islands of Morocco, and Spain was saying that they were doing this to stop the immigration from the Moroccans that try to get into Spain. So there were a couple of countries that protested that, and it was America, Saudi Arabia, and Israel. And they were in Morocco's side saying, no, you can't do that, you gotta respect their sovereignty. So that's why the local Muslim tour guide saying that he loved Ariel Sharon and how he respected Israel. And what's interesting enough, I also learned that when the Spanish Inquisition happened, it wasn't just the Jews that got kicked out, but also the Muslims when the Spanish Inquisition happened. So that's why the Muslim tour guide, he's knowledgeable, he understands, and he was explaining to me all these new things I didn't know about. And I hope that in the future that the relationship keeps growing stronger. And I had an interesting experience, deeply personal experience. I actually went on the trip with my sister, and we were in the market, and somebody came up to me and he actually offered me 40 camels to marry my sister. So sorry, I'm in the 5-minute limits. So I told her no because Miami doesn't have such camel-friendly parking facilities and things like that. Anyways, that's the end of my speech. I have a minute left, so I just wanted to invite you guys because I'm actually part of an organization called Toastmasters, and we actually created a play, and you guys are all invited to the play, and it's actually going to be here at the Miami Beach Regional Library this Wednesday, August 30th. It's free admission, everybody is welcome, and it's at 6:30 p.m., and it's going to be for half an hour, and we hope that everybody's there, and it's actually about living your dreams. The name of the play is called You Are the Power. So it's all about, I think the peace in the Middle East is like something that everybody talks about, peace in the world, that's like at a macro level. But in this play, it's going to be a very micro level of what your personal dream is. And you're going to see on stage how a lady from Belarus, who's one of the actresses in the play, actually fulfills her dream of becoming an actress and singing despite her father's wishes. And we're going to have a highly interactive experience where we'll have the audience as well invited to participate. You can write down on a piece of paper what your dreams are since you're a little kid, what your inner child dreams were. And we're going to invite you up on stage so we can hear what your dreams were. And hopefully, that's going to empower you so that your dreams are fulfilled as well. So, Shalom Aleichem and Salam Aleichem, everybody. Shukran. Shukran. Alhamdulillah.
So by the way, we were talking to Jerry, I think